Welcome to the Learn True Health podcast. I'm your host, Ashley James. This is episode 4.
What prevents you from being in optimal health? And that's what I'm here to help unravel for somebody is what's not what's wrong with you, but what prevents you from being in optimal health. So if health is defined as freedom from limitations, what's limiting you? And that's both physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, because those things all can limit you.
Recently, I was in the studio filming with Dr. Molly Niedermeyer. You may also know her as Dr. Molly Linton. She's a naturopathic physician and licensed midwife who's been in private practice for over 30 years. Now, if you're in the Seattle area, or if you're a big fan of naturopathic medicine like me, then you've heard of Dr. Molly. She is infamous in the naturopathic world. She actually was the dean of Bastyr University, where she taught for 25 years, both academically and clinically. She's also trained more naturopathic students and residents clinically than any other private practice. And Dr. Molly has extensively lectured throughout the country and has written many articles on natural childbirth, pediatrics, and naturopathic medicine. She's also a proud mother of 6 children and 1 adorable grandson. And she's the owner and chief doctor at the famous Emerald City Clinic in Seattle. Now, I have had the privilege of working with her both personally and professionally, and she is absolutely amazing. A brilliant soul who is dedicated to helping everyone gain health naturally and at the same time educating people how to take control of their health. And that's exactly on par with what Learn True Health is here to do, is to bring this information to the masses. And so it was so exciting to sit in our studio and film with her. We filmed a fantastic day with her, having her share her 5-point health plan, and that entire 5-point health plan is available in our membership section of learntruehealth.com. So you can definitely check that out by going to learntruehealth.com. There's this one part where she talked about, well, how much water should we drink, and why is water so important, and why is it so important that it's part of her 5-point health plan? And I just knew that people were thirsty for this information. And so I took part of the video that we filmed with her, and we took this excerpt, and today we're going to make this excerpt be the podcast episode. And so if you've ever wondered, how much water should I drink? Am I getting enough water? Am I dehydrated? Dr. Molly is here to answer those questions for you today.
My name is Molly Niedermeyer. I'm a naturopathic physician and a licensed midwife. I graduated from Bastyr University. It was not called that when I graduated. It was called John Bastyr College of Naturopathic Medicine. I graduated in 1984 in the 3rd graduating class. At that time, I also was participatory in making it into a midwifery school so that we could actually be licensed as midwives when we graduated from naturopathic school. The reason for that is because in the state of Washington, we're not allowed to participate in the delivery of children without being a midwife. So we had to make it into a midwifery school so that I could do full family practice. I've practiced in the Seattle area those entire 31 years. I have a large family practice, naturopathic practice, with 5 additional physicians at this time. It gets bigger and smaller depending on where my needs are. The thing that I really pride myself in is that I embody the principles of naturopathic medicine on a daily basis, one of them being docere, which means to teach. So my entire purpose as a physician is to teach people how to take better care of themselves and therefore become better clients. That's another thing that distinguishes me. I have patients and I have clients. Clients are people to me that are coming and seeking advice to improve their own. They hire somebody to give them advice, such as an attorney-client privilege. Patients are people that at some point in their life need to give up their personal responsibility to somebody they trust because they're feeling so bad that they just want somebody to make those decisions. And I will take those roles on depending on what my patient or client needs at the time. I personally have been both a patient and a client. I recently was diagnosed with breast cancer, and at points in my healing process, was truly a patient of many people saying, just tell me what to do. So I don't mind doing that with my clients, because sometimes you just you want someone to make those decisions. But bottom line is I'm trying to educate people to make their own educated decisions and to teach them that nothing is random, that things in your life happen for a reason, and the body's going to give you louder and louder messages to pay attention. So even with my own cancer journey, I won't be somebody that will tell you that I was grateful I had cancer. I will tell you that I am grateful for the lessons that cancer gave me, and I wish I'd learned the lessons in an easier fashion, but that's not what my body did. Your body will make the wisest decision it can at any moment. Every second your body's making the wisest decision it can. Our job as both naturopathic physicians and as you as a human being is to give the body the best choices and the best building blocks and the best options it can in order to have optimal health. So I want people, one of the questions I ask my patients, clients is, what prevents you from being in optimal health? And that's what I'm here to help unravel for somebody, is what's not what's wrong with you, but what prevents you from being in optimal health. So if health is defined as freedom from limitations, what's limiting you? And that's both physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, because those things all can limit you. After 31 years of practice, I have found that it is so important to start with some foundations of health before we go any further. Why would I give somebody a botanical remedy if they're not drinking water? So I've actually developed Molly's 5-point health plan. And when I sit at seminars or lectures, I still say, oh, that's just one of my 5-point health plans. I mean, no matter what I learn, I always start with this. So the first thing I talk to people about is the need for water. We're going to go into more detail about this, but number 1 is water. Number 2 is a good and healthy diet. Number 3 is sleep. Yes, Americans don't sleep enough. Number 4 is exercise. And number 5 is a minimal supplement regime. Notice that the supplements are number 5. These are actually in the order of importance too. Why would I give you a vitamin if you're not eating well? Although I will tell you, the newest thing I've been doing is handing someone a vitamin and saying, I'm giving you this because you won't change your lifestyle. If you want to have economically good foundational medicine, you need to drink appropriate waters, eat an appropriate diet, which we'll go into detail, sleep an appropriate amount, move your body on a daily basis, and then you can take a regime of basic supplements. And what I've gone to is to do measurable outcomes. Everybody wants measurable outcomes. They want to know that so I've been grading people. I will grade my clients on those 5 things and give them a grade point average so that by the next time they come, they had a 2.6 and now they're a 3.5. I don't usually want to go into any further complications or detailed health care if they're not getting a 3.5 or greater on the 5-point health plan. So if you came in and you were optimally healthy, well, now let's put it this way. Let's say you had a 3.5 on your health plan, yet you still had a thyroid problem. Then I would go further. But I always start with the fundamentals of good healthcare, which again is water, a good diet, sleep, exercise, and a minimal supplement regime. The first one I want to talk about is water. 90% of our body is water. And the evidence shows that a 5% reduction in hydration will result in a 25% reduction in energy. So if someone comes up into my office and on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being optimal energy, and I tell them, and 1 is they can't get out of bed, let's say I tell them to grade themselves, then if they tell me there are 4, if nothing else other than they get hydrated, they will then go to a 6 to 7. That's how important water is. By the way, a 10 for me, when a good adrenal gland, or the person that's responsible, the part of your body that's responsible for your energy, wakes up between 6 and 8 without an alarm, hungry, ready to go, has steady energy throughout the afternoon, and falls asleep between 9 and 11, unless you're a teenager, and then it's between 10 and midnight, but we can talk about that later. That is a 10. And very few people have a 10. I'll ask huge classrooms of naturopathic students, how many of you are a 10? And I just start with that. If you're not a 10, I say, how many of you drink enough water? So let me describe what enough water is. So the American population out there tells you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day. That's a great public service announcement. But for a 90-pound woman, she would drown, and for a 300-pound person, that would not be enough. So water is really based on your personal body type and choices in life and habits. So what I say to people is that water should be based on the following things. 1/3 of your body weight in fluid ounces a day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, that's 50 ounces of water. Plus 8 ounces for every vice. So to me, vices are things that when you put them in your body cause a toxic reaction. So that's sugar, alcohol, coffee, juice. I'll talk about that. Not to say that juice is bad for you, but it's a lot of sugar. So that's a sugar level. So white flour, those are all things that are considered vices. And then 8 ounces for every 20 minutes of sweaty exercise. So if you're physically active, then you need to drink more water, which I hope you are. So I hope you're drinking more water. The average adult should pee 6 to 8 times a day. So that's another measurement. And if you drink 12 ounces of water, you should pee after the hour, not within the hour. So that's the next subtlety about water. If you drink a glass of water and you pee within 20 minutes, it's going right through you. You're not absorbing it. So that means you're probably mineral deficient, which leads us into the diet. But I'm just letting you know that, and it should be like a soaker hose. You should be drinking water throughout the day. You shouldn't say, oh, Dr. Molly needs to say I drink 50 ounces of water a day, glug, 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 glug. That's a flash flood. That's not a soaker hose. You need to hydrate the body throughout the day. If you were to water your garden all at once, you're going to water off the topsoil. It's not going to soak in. So that's why I tell people. So different things work for different people to get hydrated. By the way, herbal tea counts as water. So herbal tea and water counts as water. Every other fluid is not hydration. So if you drink milk, coffee, alcohol, juice, that is not hydration. That takes fluid to process it. Okay, so I need you to understand only water and herbal tea counts as hydration. The urination is really important too. So one of the ways that I tell people that they can learn this habit. So I'm challenging you all to try to just drink enough water and see how your energy changes within 2 to 3 weeks. It takes 2 weeks to rehydrate, by the way. So I can tell people an amount. So you weigh this amount, you do this type, so you need to drink this amount of water. So that's one way of doing it. Another way that is usually easier for a lot of people is that if you go to the bathroom, replace it. If you pee, drink 8 ounces of water. If you attach a habit to the reason for why you had the habit, you often do better with changing your lifestyle. And then I need you to look at, this is that part about becoming conscious about your body, is that if you drink a glass of water and you pee it off within an hour, then I would recommend that you put some electrolytes in it. And everyone knows about Emergen-C, but that's not my favorite electrolyte because it's got a lot of sugar in it. Vegetables are my favorite electrolyte, but coconut water is a godsend to our world. It's a totally perfect type of electrolyte. Himalayan salts are an electrolyte. So there's lots of really good electrolytes out there. What I grew up with was Gatorade. What a damaging type of electrolyte. Okay, so it's high sugar, high chemically based fluid. The natural health movement went to recharge, right? Better choice, but still a lot of sugar. Electrolytes are minerals. You're trying to replace your minerals. The other thing about water that you should know, besides what you put in and what comes out, if you don't sweat when you have extreme physical activity, if it takes a lot for you to sweat, you're already dehydrated. So the body's not going to sweat if it doesn't want to get rid of its fluids. These are all things that are the subtleties of hydration. But once again, the take-home message is 1/3 of your body weight in fluid ounces of water a day, 8 ounces for every vice. So if I have a glass of wine, yes, I have wine. If I have a glass of wine, I drink a glass of water. If I have a cup of coffee, everybody laughs in my clinic. I fill the cup up with water. That antidotes the coffee. Done, check, off the list. And when you're exercising, you need to replace your fluids content. So that's, and 25% reduction in energy with a 5% reduction. Right now, I would challenge yourself to say, how much water do you drink? How much do I weigh? And if you weigh 150 pounds and get 20 ounces of water a day, I'd give you a D on my 5-point health plan. Okay, so that's how I grade it, and you can mark yourself that way. I have my naturopathic students grade themselves, and I don't really want to know their grades. I'm just saying, okay, if you're a D in water and now you're an A, do you feel that much better? You should. It should be noticeable. That's how you change your habits. I feel better when I do this. That's really important.
Thank you so much, Dr. Molly Niedermeyer. That was absolutely fantastic. I know we all learned so much. I was blown away when I found out that by being dehydrated, my body would lose 25% of its ability to produce energy.
The evidence shows that a 5% reduction in hydration will result in a 25% reduction in energy.
No wonder we're all walking around like zombies, sucking back our Starbucks and our Monster energy drinks. We're dehydrated. Plus, of course, as you know from the last episode on sleep, we're not getting enough sleep. So I hope you found this informative, and I look forward to bringing you more fantastic podcasts. We have lined up some amazing guests, including Dr. Molly, who will be back live and teach us more about naturopathic medicine and how to gain health naturally. Next week, we have a fantastic naturopath who is also a acupuncturist and a chiropractor. So, I mean, he must be like 500 years old because he's went to school for 50 years. I mean, this guy must know more than 10 of us combined. I'm so excited to hear what he has to. Thanks so much for listening. And until next time.
Looking for even more ways to feel and look healthy? Come to LearnTrueHealth.com and get our free healthy cookbook. There are some delicious recipes and they're super healthy for you. All you have to do is visit LearnTrueHealth.com.